and welcome to another edition of Lab Rats. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And this is the show where we demystify technology and kind of give you the skinny of what's going on out there in the technology world. And of course today, breaking news, breaking news. Thank you for that sound effect. So Apple just announced the brand new version of their famous iPad, the tablet that they launched last year in 2010. I guess we saw the announcement, was it yesterday, I guess? So you were here in studio. You're probably seeing this on a Monday night or beyond a Monday night. And so we just thought we'd better get this out real quick because Sean tells me that when he was in San Francisco last week at the Palm event, you actually met with Apple and they gave you a prototype.
Yeah, I made the trip down to Cupertino and, you know.
How do you swing that? Like this, like nobody else has one of those.
Well, you know, I've got a long-standing relationship with Apple and, you know, we go way back. So
we're going to see this after the
we're
break.
gonna see it. I'll show it to you.
Fantastic. Okay, there you go. So an exclusive look at the new iPad 2 here on Lab Rats today. Very excited. So let's take a break. When we come back, iPad 2 demystified. And welcome back to Lab Rats. You missed, by the way.
I didn't actually.
You didn't? Oh,
No, I hit the guy behind the camera.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, good. All right, so we're about to show you the iPad 2. Sean's got his hands on an exclusive version, so in a couple of minutes. I just want to talk to you a bit about our sponsor, Hover.com. So if you're looking for a domain or you're looking for internet services like email hosting, your own custom email address, for you and your family perhaps, you know, maybe your last name is Jones, you want the jonesfamily.com or .tv or whatever it is, you can actually get that from Hover.com. And so they're our sister company here at Tucows, where we work. And we just love the service. So highly recommend that you zip on over to hover.com and check them out. See if there's a domain there you want to buy, .com, .tv, .net, dot whatever.
Yeah, and if the one that you want right off the bat isn't available, they'll give you some alternate suggestions as well.
There you go. So we love this service. Check them out, hover.com. And here's a coupon for 10% off your first purchase, just to give, so you can be subsidized and give it a try. So that's hover.com. Check it out. All right.
Alrighty.
Okay, so I'm so excited. Okay, iPad 2. Let's see it.
All right, well, I actually brought this with me. It just nobody else has seen this except for you up to this point.
Right.
So I just want to bring it out here. There we go. So the iPad 2.
That's not the iPad 2.
Look, it is. It totally is. Look, it says iPad 2 right on the back.
No, that's the iPad 1 prototype that we showed last year when it first came out.
What are you talking about? This is totally the iPad 2. Don't look too closely.
You lie. Where's the real one?
Real one? Real one's still in Cupertino.
Okay, well then we have to use that one then.
We'll use this and sort of simulate the experience that we'd have gotten.
Okay. All right, so does it look like this?
Oddly enough, it does. It looks pretty much the same. It's got the same size screen, the same resolution screen. It's a little bit thinner though, about 33% thinner, and because of that, about 0.2 pounds lighter, which is about 15% lighter. So we're going to have to simulate that. So there we go. There we go.
33% lighter.
Seem lighter too and thinner?
Thinner.
A little.
Oh my God. I didn't think this episode was going to go this way. I'm very disappointed in you, Mr. Carruthers.
What am I supposed to do?
All right, well, got to make the best of it. All right, so it's 33%, so it's thinner.
It's thinner.
I got your point. Thank you for bringing out our very important prop.
Yeah.
It's 15% lighter, meaning so they've managed to shave off.
I think I damaged the CPU.
Okay, speaking of the CPU, so let's talk about the guts. What's inside of this new iPad 2?
Okay, so let's stand this up, and I know we're just pretending that this is it, but whatever. It kind of looks like this. So it has the previous generation made use of Apple's new A4 processor, which was technology that they got from another company, brought it in-house. It got rid of the outside suppliers for this. They've since moved on the iPad 2 to the A5 processor. It's still a gigahertz processor, but now it's dual core.
So the processor goes in here somewhere?
Yeah, you push it in through the hole that you create with the fire extinguisher.
Okay, good. So the A5 processor.
A5 processor.
So it's a dual-core 1 gigahertz processor?
1 gigahertz. So
that means twice as fast, right?
Not necessarily. So typically when you do a dual core, you get definitely increased performance, not necessarily exactly twice as fast because of all the other stuff that's involved inside there. Now, what we can say about it is
It's like two brains, no?
it's like two brains, so it's able to handle things better. It
It's
isn't
not like 1-2 gigahertz processors, 2 1 gig, so you can multitask better probably.
you can multitask better, and so you can have one thing running on one core and another thing running on the other core, so it's not bogging down every time you have more than one application running. The other thing that is involved in the guts of that because of the new processor is better video capabilities, and they're saying 9 times the video speed on this.
It's a video refresh, so it's like a better gaming experience?
Yeah, better gaming experience. So like the resolution of the screen is still the same. It's still 1024 by 768, so you're not getting any bigger a picture. People were speculating on the Retina display. That didn't happen on this, maybe later. But it will make it faster in terms of the pixels that you already have there, and actually allows you to push HDMI out the bottom of the iPad now using a special adapter.
Okay, good. Let's talk about that a little bit more in a minute, because I know that, at least let's make this look like the iPad 2. Apparently there's a white version.
Yeah,
so it's a white bezel.
It's available in both black and white, so we actually have a new white bezel that we're going to stick to it here. So it still does come in the same old black, and it does come in white as well. So, I mean, this is not exactly the most scientific. I mean, just be thankful that I'm not doing this with liquid paper. That would have taken a long time, and it would have kind of smelled
We would have
really.
taken out the entire episode.
It would have taken up the entire episode, and I think I'd have been a bit loopy by the end of it as well. Okay, so there we go. There's our new white iPad.
It's so sad. Okay, well, at least it looks a little bit more like the, okay, good, I got it. Okay, so new
Yeah.
processor. It's got a 9 times faster graphics accelerator in it. It's got a white bezel.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that it still has the metal on the back, minus, of course, the fire extinguisher marks. And so it is still metal on the back. It's still got the black markup here, like the black section for the antenna if you've got the 3G. So it does still come in both 3G versions and Wi-Fi only versions. Has a bigger speaker grill on the bottom. But otherwise, the back is still metallic, like the previous generation.
Got it, okay.
Okay.
Anything else inside it? Like apparently there's some sort of gyroscopy thing?
Yeah, so there is a gyroscope that's on board for better gaming experience. So add that to the better video performance, and you definitely have a machine that's much better at gaming. But I think the one thing that a lot of people were really hoping for and is delivered on the new generation that's inside it, it's cameras. So we thought maybe there'd be a front-facing camera for video conferencing. Well, let's add that on first of all. So we've got a video camera on the top. Oh, I forgot to put the button on the bottom. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the video camera up top now. That's a VGA camera, so 640 by 480 resolution, so you can do FaceTime conferencing back and forth between this and the iPhone, for example.
So they've added FaceTime capability.
They've added FaceTime capability, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But they've also added on the back, and I forget which side it is. Let's say this side. There's a camera on the back that does 720p.
So may vary from reality. Our demonstration here may vary slightly from reality. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, got it. Does it have a flash at least?
Oh, you're saying now that this may differ from reality? It does not have a flash.
Does not have a flash. Okay.
And
okay,
still
good.
doesn't play Flash.
All right, I got it. Still doesn't play Flash, right? On. Okay. So what else? You said there's you're going to talk about HDMI a bit later and also FaceTime. When do you want to talk about those?
Well, let's talk about the HDMI thing right now, because that's one of the accessories that is available for this. Doesn't come in the box, but in the past you were able to push video out of the iPad using a special adapter, but it was typically only certain things. So you play a movie and you could send it out via a regular video stream to your television.
So as you know, HDMI, of course, is that connector that most modern high-definition televisions have to connect external devices, right? So HDMI, is it high-definition multimedia interface? I think it is, right?
High definition multimedia interface.
interface,
So I was
right.
just grabbing an example of the cable that you could have. So again, the old school one, it would have this on one side, would be the universal 30-pin connector, and then on the other end you'd have something out like this to go to components. So that was what you had before through the regular iPad. So wouldn't send out a great picture, but
now
it
you'll
was.
have an HDMI out that you can plug,
Yeah.
you can interface with directly with
Yeah, so on the bottom here, I forgot to draw on
You
the...
didn't draw it, so.
Okay, let's draw the connector on. So that's on the usual place right down there.
Yeah.
And you just plug in this HDMI cable available for $39, and it will mirror out the display. The one nice thing about the HDMI adapter that we did see is in addition to the HDMI connector on the bottom of the dongle, there's also a space to plug in your regular power, so you can still keep it powered even while it's connected via HDMI.
You didn't see this in California.
I didn't?
Did you see this on the web?
I saw this during the press conference.
But you were sitting here in Toronto.
I was sitting here in Toronto. Don't remove all the magic from this.
Okay, keep going. I'm going to make the best of this episode.
Okay, so speaking of accessories, one of the other things they introduced when they made the announcement for this was something called smart covers. Now you know about the covers that people have been putting on their iPad. They've got sleeves, they've got little folio-style cases that they're wrapping around the whole thing, rubberized protectors. I know you have a silicone sleeve around the outside of yours.
Yeah.
Now what they have in this new generation for smart covers is a magnetic attaching cover. It basically attaches onto the side, and I'm not going to simulate this, but it attaches onto the side, auto aligns with magnets. It's got magnetic connectors inside the iPad already. So this auto aligns to it, and then it's got a fold down screen that goes on there, and then again there's magnets to keep it in place on the top of the screen. It's got a microfiber cloth.
Magnets is an innovation?
I guess.
Apple, come on, this is like a discount update, I think.
Okay, but it's got a microfiber cloth on the inside of the screen.
Ooh.
That cleans it when you cover it. It has a sensor on there that tells when you're closing that thing and automatically turns off the iPad, so it's not sitting there using up power or generating heat when the screen cover is closed.
So it has a sensor that automatically turns it off. Okay. Okay, so that's cool.
And it not only that, but this one cover, it's just basically a cover on the front. It folds up again, flips around the back, and then becomes a stand.
Okay.
So that's
2 points for being cool.
It's not bad. Okay. Now the downside of that.
It's got a microfiber cover.
It's got a microfiber cloth inside,
really exciting.
which cleans your screen. So how many times do you have to clean it yourself? A lot.
I just have a cat. I just put tuna on it, and the cat licks it.
Remind me never to touch your iPad ever again.
It's clean.
So, anyways, you will want to protect the back of it potentially. So you may still want another case. But if all you ever want to do is just cover the screen and protect that, this is a cool way to go. $39 for the polyurethane version, available in 5 different colors. $69 for the leatherized version, and that's again available in 5 different colors, but they're leather colors.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
Innovation. Okay, good. All right, it's a new case. What else? What about software?
Well, I guess the big thing is not software first, but firmware. So they have updated the version of iOS, which is the operating system that runs on the iPhone and the iPad. So at the same time, they're launching version 4.3, which adds FaceTime, which we talked about. So that's the conferencing software that allows you to connect to people on other devices. Yeah, so I can call you on this.
You do it on your iPhone right now.
Yeah, iPhone to iPhone, iPhone to Mac, and now it'll be iPad to iPhone and iPad to Mac and vice versa. So
moving on, new apps.
New apps. Okay, so first thing about iOS 4, there's a couple things that it adds, and that's better JavaScript functionality. So 2 times the performance. It's ported over the Nitro JavaScript engine that it had on the Mac OS onto the iPad now. So better performance in that. It also has better home sharing, so you can share things between your devices. So from iTunes on your computer to the iPad now, apparently.
So you can stream from your iTunes account on your computer to this.
So if you've got content elsewhere in your house, you can stream it.
So it doesn't necessarily live locally on here. Okay, good.
Right. And the other thing is better AirPlay functionality as well. So in the past, we've been able to take something that's been playing on our iPhone, like a video or an audio clip, and then transfer it over to an Apple TV, for example, or to an Airport Express, depending on what kind of content we're streaming, and then move it that way. And now you have the ability to move apps over as well. So if you're playing something on the app, you can actually move that to your TV and actually
pause it.
Well, not necessarily. If you're playing an app on your thing, you can actually watch it on your screen now, as opposed to just on the iPad.
So you can actually sit there and play, but actually have it playing on the big screen.
Sure. So your iPad becomes a controller for what's going on your screen, potentially. So we'll see how they integrate that. I haven't seen any examples of that playing yet, but there's a great deal of potential in that.
Okay, good.
Okay, so now software. 2 other pieces of software that are launching at the same time and that are designed to take use of the extra functionality on here. Number 1 is iMovie. So we've seen iMovie before on the iPhone. It's a very stripped down version of iMovie on the Macintosh, which allows you to cut movies in a very basic way, basic transitions, basic themes. Again, you've got the ability to shoot right on here. I guess you'll be using the 720p camera. You can tell because it's drawn in higher resolution here. to shoot footage and then edit directly on the screen here. So very visual method of interacting with it, and again, using their fingers and touch-based capabilities to move things around in the interface makes it a little bit easier than it may otherwise have. So that's one of the things that's available. $4.99, available March 11th. The other one is GarageBand. So anybody that's a music fan, if you want to play music and record, GarageBand available for $4.99 again on the iPad. On March 11th, it'll allow you to do 8-track recording. It'll allow you to use something like 250 different loops. And one of the really nice things about it is, you know, with music instruments, you know, the harder you hit something, the different the sound you get. So like when you're playing a piano, it's like dong, 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 dong.
Like an attack?
Yeah, the velocity of the key that you're hitting. So you'll have different resonances and all that. So now that'll do that on the iPad as well by depending on how hard you hit it. Now the screen isn't pressure sensitive. It can tell that you're hitting it or touching it, but it's using the accelerometers inside here to figure out how much is this thing shaking, how hard am I being hit.
Right, I got it.
So
very cool. All right, well,
So
I know that was
that's
sort of somewhat disappointing because you know you were expecting the real thing, as was I. But anyway, but here's the good news. We're going to talk about iPad 3 right after this break.
iPad 3?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a break when we come back. iPad 3 on
Lab Rats. I better get my pencil out.
So are you, you got it down to a third less, 33% less than now?
Yeah, I measured it earlier. It was only about 28%. Ooh.
you're
So
helping the
I'm
process
still
along.
working on it.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about, you know, would you buy the Enough. It's enough. I'm going to break it. Would you buy the iPad 2? That's the question, right? Is it? Look at this. Thank you. Give it to me. Thank you.
It's only at 31%.
I know. Would you buy the iPad 2?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. Looking like this, not so much,
Tell you
because it's a little bit ratty.
Think about it. Let's go and look at the competitor. We have a clip of the week of the Motorola Zoom. And people can decide whether they want to wait for that instead. And then when we come back, we can hear your thoughts as to whether you'd buy an iPad 2. And I'll tell you my thoughts. How's that?
Okay.
All right, all right. So let's take a break and have a look at the clip of the week. This is the Motorola Zoom that we covered at the Consumer Electronics Show, and I believe it's Andrew Moore Crispin doing the talking. So check it out, and we'll be back with iPad 2. Should you buy it? And preview on the iPad 3.
Welcome on deck. I'm Matt Harris.
Hi, I'm Jay Goldman.
Welcome to the A-List.
Hi, welcome to Miss Download.
Now we have the front camera, as you see here. That's mainly used for video conferencing, your G-Talk, whatever you want. Get a bit of privacy too, because you can carry this around. Now, if I may turn this. You also have the back 5-megapixel camera as well. Now it does have a digital flash on the side as well.
If you want to see the entire clip about the Motorola Zoom there, zip on over to butterscotch.com. That was an episode of At, and so we showed you 30 seconds there. Go look at the entire episode and get more about probably the top competitor for the iPad 2 this year.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. When Steve Jobs was up on stage talking about the iPad 2, he made this little dig about it being the first dual-core tablet to ship in volume.
Yes.
And I think that was a dig at the competition that's supposedly coming out with dual-core processors in their things that just haven't managed to get enough of them out into the channel yet, if at all. So.
Well, we'll see. All right, so so is this something you'd buy? Are you going to like dump your original iPad and get an iPad 2?
Well, I'm not really made of money right now, so probably not. There's a couple of nice touches. I mean, buying it in white is maybe a fashion thing that would be fun, but it's not enough to sway me. The cameras, again, I've got my iPhone 4, which has the cameras on board, so I don't really need it for that. The GarageBand is really tempting, the ability to do that, but ultimately, I think I'm going to wait for the iPad 3.
Right. So, okay, good. So, I mean, the pricing on this one is going to be very similar to the last.
Yeah, it's going to be exactly the same. So there's going to be 16, 32, and 64 gigabyte versions of this in both Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi plus 3G. Price points will be exactly the same as they were before.
Got it. Okay. Now, that said, don't spend your money yet because you may want to zip on out. Or no, you might want to save your pennies until maybe the fall because the rumor has it that there'll be an iPad 3 by then.
That's the rumor. The talk was that they were going to launch this and then 6 months later launch the iPad 3 with, say, a Retina display, so better way to view things, better gaming experience. They wanted to put it in there and weren't able to. I'm not sure I'd necessarily buy that,
I
but we'll see.
suspect we'll see probably a better screen display, right? Retina display on the new one. I think we'll probably see, they're talking about a contact technology now that allows the device to actually do near field communication with something else. It'll probably be an iPhone 5 that'll be announced probably later this year. Probably more like summer time frame, I think. We'll probably spring with the summer time frame ship. So, and whatever technologies that are going on inside the new iPhone 5 is probably going to be replicated in the iPad 3. That may be better screen, of course. It already has a good screen, but that may be their near field communications and who knows what else.
Yeah, interesting. Obviously we would be interested in hearing that it's coming, but they're not going to mention that so close to the launch of iPad 2. It's like, hey, it's not out yet, but there's another one coming, so really, don't buy it.
Yeah, not going to cannibalize the sales.
Okay, now that said, are you going to buy it?
I think so. I've been thinking about getting I bought the Wi-Fi version, and I really should have bought the Wi-Fi and 3G version. But now that I'm used to it and I love the device, I think I'm going to buy the iPad 2. My dad really wants an iPad as well. Actually, I bought him one as the first generation. He's ready for the next one. He wants cameras and he wants better, better functionality, faster functionality, and that sort of thing. He's become a power user. So yeah, so I think we'll probably grab a couple when they come out.
Okay, you going to buy one for Biff and Boo too?
No, not made of money. Although my house is actually scattered with $100 bills. I just use it for, cat litter.
Can I visit your house for a short period?
No, you can't. All right, so that's it. So any final thoughts before we say goodbye to those lovely people out there in Lab Rats Land? Well, I can say that it's
going to look a lot better than this.
going to look a lot better than that.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in this week and pushing play so we couldn't bring you the iPad 2. But it'd be foolish for us to be here pretending we had the iPad 2 if you weren't out there going, I wonder what's on that iPad 2. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
We'll see you next time. No more. You're going to break it.
Are you ready?
Sorry, man.
Throw like a girl.
You kind of do. I mean, it's kind of really shocking.
Were you aiming at his head?
No, I was actually aiming it over the light.
Either way, it was the worst throw humanly possible. We had 3D technology, so you can really understand how awful a throw that was.
See, very good.
It was pretty close.
That was pretty good.